You're watching TAG TV.
Good evening and welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Monday, the 17th of September. India's Interior Minister launches smart fencing along India-Pakistan border. Afghan poll body condemns forced closure of its provincial offices. And first BIMSTEC joint military exercise concludes in Western India. And now for all the details. India's Interior Minister Rajnath Singh on Monday launched two smart border fencing projects along the border with Pakistan in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province. The fencing projects will use a high-tech surveillance system to create an invisible electronic barrier expected to cover gaps in the physical fencing and foil infiltration bits.
India's Interior Minister Rajnath Singh on Monday launched two smart border fencing projects built under the Comprehensive Integrated Border Management System or CIBMS program in northern Jammu and Kashmir province. Under the projects, a first-of-a-kind high-tech surveillance system along the Indo-Pakistan border will create an invisible electronic barrier, helping the Border Security Force detect and foil infiltration bids. Singh said the project will be implemented to cover gaps in the physical fencing and subsequently these technological solutions will be implemented in other vulnerable areas.
लेकिन इस सीमा सुरक्षा को और अधिक प्रभावी बनाने के लिए आज एक नए पायलट प्रोजेक्ट की लॉन्चिंग हुई है, जिसका नाम है कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव इंटीग्रेटेड बॉर्डर Management System, CIBMS.
The first 6 months of 2018 witnessed a huge spate in ceasefire violations by Pakistan along the border, resulting in several casualties among the security forces and the civilians. India also accuses Pakistan of regularly arming and infiltrating terrorists across the border to mount attacks on the Indian soil. Pakistan denies the allegations.
The Indian Space Research Organisation on Sunday night launched a polar satellite launch vehicle mounted with two British satellites from the southern island of Sriharikota. The satellites will monitor floods and other natural disasters.
The Indian Space Research Organisation or ISRO launched a polar satellite launch vehicle or PSLV mounted with two British satellites, which were also blasted into the orbit from the southern island of Sriharikota on Sunday. The ISRO's PSLV C-42, which was launched late in the night, carried two Earth observation satellites of Britain's Surrey Satellite Technology Limited, weighing 992 pounds each. The satellites are meant to monitor floods and other natural disasters. There was no other satellite on the launching vehicle, and it is meant to be the first fully commercial trip to the space in this year.
I am extremely happy to announce our PSLV C-42 precisely placed two of our customer satellites, NOVASAR and S-14, precisely in 583-kilometer orbit.
It was ISRO's first flight after 5 months when it put a replacement navigation satellite into the orbit in PSLV C-41. India is seeking a larger share of more than $300 billion global space industry as Prime Minister Narendra Modi seeks to project it as a global low-cost provider of services in space.
And moving on, contractual government workers in the illegally occupied region of Gilgit-Baltistan recently threatened to hold massive protest over the demands for permanent job status. Unemployment rate in the region is on a steep rise, and it is indeed appalling that people who have served for several years in the government have still not been given permanent jobs.
Several government workers in illegally occupied Gilgit-Baltistan region held a press conference recently demanding a permanent job status for all the contractual workers. Disgruntled over injustice done to them for several years, the workers also demanded their salaries, which have been put on hold by the government for a very long time. The workers warned the authorities of massive protest after September 25th in case their demands are ignored.
आज हम बहालत मजबूरी इस प्रेस क्लब के दरवाजे पे आ गए हैं और हमारी आज भी हुकूमत वक्त से ये मुतालिबा है कि हमारे मामला आप हल करें। हम धरने को फिर यह धरने की जो कॉल हम देने के लिए प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस जो बुलाया हमने किया है, इसको हम वापस भी ले सकते हैं। अगर 25 सितंबर तक अगर ये हमारे मुतालिबात हल नहीं हुए तो हम बाकायदा तौर पर इंशाअल्लाह अपने बाल बच्चों को भी लेकर रोड पे निकलेंगे।
Gilgit-Baltistan, a part of erstwhile Jammu and Kashmir province of India, was annexed by Pakistan more than 6 decades ago. It has been under a corrupt administration since then, and locals are struggling for even their basic rights.
And in news from Afghanistan, Chief of Afghanistan's Independent Election Commission on Sunday criticised the political parties for closing the poll body's offices in parts of the country on Saturday. The political parties have been demanding for a transparent election and a change in the electoral system.
Head of Independent Election Commission or IEC of Afghanistan, Gulajan Abdul Badi Sayyid has criticized political parties for closing the poll bodies' offices in parts of the country. Sayyid called on parties to instead share their list of demands with the commission so that legal solution can be sought. Speaking at a press conference in Kabul city on Sunday, Sayyid said the political parties and observers are not attending IEC meetings, nor are they cooperating with the commission, but they are constantly criticizing the IEC.
نن په مرکز او سبا په ولایتونو کې د دفترونو بندیدل د دې معنی لري چې هغه څوک چې دغه اقداماتو ته لاس اچوي هغوی انتخابات تاخیر سره غورځي او انتخابات بیا په خپل نیټه باندې نه کیږي.
A number of major political parties in Afghanistan closed the offices of the IEC in Balkh, Kandahar and Herat provinces on Saturday over demands for the transparent election and change in the electoral system. The political parties that operate under the Grand National Coalition have threatened to also close IEC offices in other major provinces if their demands are not met.
Despite witnessing several suicide attacks in the country, a 25-year-old Charlie Chaplin impersonator hopes to make Afghans smile and forget grief. The stand-up comedian performs across Kabul city in Chaplin's trademark attire.
Afghanistan's Charlie Chaplin says he has witnessed suicide attacks, explosions and threats from hardliner Islamic militant groups, but is determined to battle and bumble to fulfill the primary goals of his life. Kareem Asir, a 25-year-old stand-up comedian who performs across Kabul city in Chaplin's trademark, oversized shoes, baggy pants, cane and black bowler hat, says he wants to give Afghans a reason to smile. He says Chaplin's impersonators are found all over the world because they help ignore grief and make everyone laugh, and he does the same.
بدون شک یکی از اهداف ما است که ما وقتی که می برنامه رو اندازی میکنیم که مردم برای یک لحظه فراموش کنن مشکلاتی که دارن، مشکلات جنگی که در افغانستان است، مشکلات وضعیت ناامنی که در افغانستان است، برای یک لحظه بتونن فراموش کنن و یک سرگرمی را ببینن.
احساس خوشحالی دارم و بسیار احساس خوبی میکنم از اینکه بسیار نقشای خوبی را اجرا کردن و بسیار نقشان مثبت بودن، پیام‌آور عالی بودن.
Asir's early years were spent in Iran, where his family had fled after the hardliner Taliban took control of Afghanistan in 1996. There he saw performances of Chaplin on Iranian TV. After the family returned home, Asir started wearing makeup and recreating Chaplin's characters in his performances despite his parents' apprehensions, but now his father says the family is proud of him.
A week-long joint military exercise among the militaries of the BIMSTEC nations concluded on Sunday in Western India. The first-ever military exercise aimed to improve compatibility and interoperability in counter-terror operations among the militaries of the seven-nation grouping.
Soldiers of the member nations of the Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation or BIMSTEC participated in their first joint military exercise conducted in India's western Maharashtra province. The week-long joint military exercise, named MILEX-18, concluded on Sunday. The soldiers from the BIMSTEC nations took part in the various drills in air, on land, in forest areas and in the water as well. The military exercise mainly focused on handling and neutralization of improvised explosive devices and training in search and cordon operations.
It was a unique opportunity for all the members of the BIMSTEC nations to participate in a joint exercise under the same umbrella. Through this exercise, we could enhance our military knowledge and evolve tactical drills which will help us to encounter common terrorism in future.
MILEX-18 was administered by a joint directing panel with senior officials of the national contingents on top of the administration. The exercise aimed at improving compatibility and interoperability in counter-terror operations.
A week-long Buddhist festival celebrating the life of an Indian saint and the local culture began in India's Himalayan region of Ladakh on Sunday. Scores of people gathered at a monastery to make part in the celebrations where colourful cultural performances showcase the rich tradition of the region.
A 5-day Buddhist festival celebrated to honor Indian saint Naropa, whose teachings are considered to be the core of Buddhism, began in India's Himalayan region of Ladakh on Sunday. Hundreds of people gathered at the Hemis monastery in Leh city of Ladakh to take part in the celebrations where colourful cultural performances showcase a rich tradition of the region.
We are celebrating a Naropa Festival. Naropa 1000 plus year we are celebrating even in this 2018, and in this celebration the aims and objectives of the celebration is His Holiness the Gelwang Drupa always wanted to encourage the people and also encourage to save the culture of Ladakh.
During the Naropa Festival celebrations, a holy set of ancient Buddhist relics will also be on display. Other highlights of the festival include talks and discussions, a traditional Ladakhi archery competition, fashion parade, Bollywood music concert and local folk dance performances. The festival will conclude on September 20.
A man in eastern India has developed a Peacock Valley to fulfill his grandfather's will. The valley houses more than 100 peafowl and many people visit the place to see them in their natural surroundings.
In an effort to fulfill his deceased grandfather's wish, Kanucharan Behram in India's eastern Cuttack district had made a friendly home in a valley for over 100 peafowl by feeding them on a regular basis. The place is now known as Peacock Valley and many people visit there on a daily basis to see the peacocks in their natural surroundings. Kanucharan took over the responsibility of feeding the peafowl after his grandfather's death, and it has now become his own loving sanctuary for birds.
99 में ओपन देखे थे कि तीन मोरू यहाँ पर घूम रहे हैं। तीन मोरू दो फीमेल थे और एक मेल थे। वो तीनों मोर को पहने वो कुछ दाना डाले। वो दाना डालने के बाद वो मोर लोग उनके पास आए। उनके पास जो तीनों मोर अभी 99 से 2018 में 100 से ज़्यादा मोर हो गए। More than 100 मोर हो गए।
Kanucharan mostly feed the peafowl with rice grains, wheat grains or cooked rice. However, there are not just peacocks and peahens in this valley. There are mongoose, pigeons, doves and a lot of other birds and animals as well.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. India's Interior Minister launches smart fencing along India-Pakistan border. Afghan poll body condemns forced closure of its provincial offices. And first BIMSTEC joint military exercise concludes in Western India. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.